The new Samsung flagship is here, and there is a lot riding on it. The Galaxy S8 has to make sure that people forget the disaster that was the Note 7, while also making sure everyone gets hyped. Well, so far it seems the S8 has succeeded. There is a lot of hype around the S8. Plus, everyone only has good things to say about the Samsung device. But is everything great about the S8?
Hey guys, this is Rupesh from Beebom.com, and I've been using the Galaxy S8 as my daily driver for around 10 days. So here are all the good, the great and the bad things about the Galaxy S8.
Let's start off with what's great on the Galaxy S8. First off, the design on the S8 just screams premium. The bezel-less display, metal frame, and the glass back just make it a gorgeous device. However, the back is a fingerprint magnet. There'll be smudges, fingerprints, dirt, and whatnot, no matter what you do. Also, it's quite slippery. Having said that, the S8 is a pleasure to hold. Also, thanks to the bezel-less display, the phone is very compact. See how it compares to the iPhone 7 Plus, which has a smaller 5.5-inch display. The Pixel and the iPhone 7 too look embarrassing in front of the S8. Because the S8 is similar to them when it comes to the footprint, while packing a much larger display. The 5.8-inch QHD Plus display is stunning. No doubts about that. It's sharp, vibrant, and one of the best displays I've ever seen. However, the display has a new 18.5:9 aspect ratio, similar to the G6, which does cause some problems. Many popular apps like Netflix, Paytm, Pocket, etc. don't scale up to use this aspect ratio and have black bars on the top and bottom. It's not bad though, as Samsung offers a button to scale these apps to use the full display. The same problem also occurs when you play 16:9 videos. But don't worry, Samsung has included a fix for videos as well. And well, watching movies on the S8 display is just a treat. Along with that, the S8 certainly hits it out of the park when it comes to the design and display. But there's one more thing that's great on the S8, the camera. The S8 packs in a 12 megapixel rear camera and an 8 megapixel front facing cam. And well, they're both great cameras. The rear camera captures some great photos, both in daytime and low light. Here are some daytime and night shots from the S8. The camera's processing does oversaturate things and the flash is very harsh. Here are some photos showing of the same. So if you like natural photos, the S8 might disappoint you. If you ask me, I think the photos captured by the S8 are great. On the videos front, here's a video we took from the S8. As you can see, the S8 camera captures videos with great details, rich colors and decent stability, thanks to OIS. When it comes to the selfies, the S8 features an autofocus front cam. So yes, it takes great selfies. But I would have liked more sharpness and dynamic range. For a more detailed look on the S8 camera, you can check out our previous video where we compared the S8 camera to the Pixels. Moving on to the somewhat good features of the S8. The S8's performance is pretty great. The device is powered by the Snapdragon 835 or the Exynos 8895 processor, depending on the region. There's also 4 GB of RAM for your multitasking needs. We have the Exynos unit, and the S8 is one snappy device. When it comes to benchmarks, the S8 tops the list when it comes to multi-core performance. However, the iPhone 7's A10 Fusion chip is still the one to beat when it comes to single-core performance. When it comes to AnTuTu scores, the iPhone 7 beats the S8 by a slight margin. Talking about the graphics prowess, the iPhone 7 is ahead of the S8, but there are a lot of factors here. The S8's Mali GPU has to push out QHD Plus pixels. Talking about the real-world performance, in my usage, the S8 has always performed admirably no matter what I threw at it. Having said that, there are reasons to be skeptic. Samsung phones, even the high-end ones, are known to slow down over time. Will that be the case with the S8? Well, no one can answer that question right now. On the more positive side of things, the device never overheats. It does get warm, but it's a very normal warm. Another good thing about the S8 is that it gets rid of the hardware home button. Instead, there's a cool new pressure-sensitive on-screen home button with haptic feedback. The home key works similar to how 3D Touch works on the iPhones, albeit in just the home button area of the screen. While the haptic feedback is cool, I think Samsung could have made it more useful. As of now, you can use the pressure on the home button to wake up the device or go to the home screen directly while using a full screen app, even when the home button is not showing up. Overall, a nice touch from Samsung. I've never really been a fan of Samsung's TouchWiz UI, but I've been pleasantly surprised by the new Samsung Experience UI on the Galaxy S8. First of all, I like the fact that the home screen is clean and inspired by the Pixel launcher. Then, there are a ton of options and features to play with. But Samsung has made sure that these options aren't on your face. Let me tell you my favorite features. The always on display is something I love, and it looks especially great on the S8's display. I also like the Edge panel to launch apps, call a contact, and use other shortcuts. Another nice touch are the notification bubbles and the Edge light, which is nothing but the light that glows up around the edges when a notification arrives. There are a lot of customization options, themes, and features like Samsung Cloud, Samsung Pass, Samsung Pay, etc., and they all work very well. When it comes to the audio performance, the S8 comes with a rear mounted speaker, and it's pretty decent. It's louder than the likes of the iPhone 7, 7 Plus and Pixel, and brings decent clarity. However, it does sound one directional because there's one speaker. Here's how it fares against the iPhone 7. Also, the S8 comes with premium AKG earbuds, which the company claims is worth $100. I'm not sure if they're worth $100, but they're pretty good and far better than what Apple offers with the iPhone 7 or what Google offers with the Pixel. It does lack bass, but makes up for it with great sound quality. Moving on, I'm not sure if this comes in the good things or the bad things with the S8. Well, let's just say the face recognition and the iris scanner on the S8 are okayish. I'm not a big fan of the iris scanner because it requires you to wake up the device, swipe up from the lock screen and then scan your eyes at a specified position while widening them. So when I set up the face recognition and found out that it works, and that too amazingly fast in my first few tries, I was delighted. However, my joy was short-lived. The face scanner is just too inconsistent to rely on. I'd understand if it fails to work when it's dark, but it fails even indoors when there's light. Apparently, it only works at an angle and when there's light on your face. So I constantly made a fool of myself staring into the phone while waiting for it to unlock. Not cool, Samsung. Like most people who have reviewed the S8, I don't like the fingerprint scanner. You saw this coming, didn't you? Thanks to its weird placement next to the camera sensor, I frequently touch the camera lens instead of the fingerprint scanner. It's also not the fastest or the most responsive fingerprint scanner out there. It has an awkward design, which results in the scanner taking too long when you're adding fingers. And things get worse if you use a case, as it gets even tougher to register your finger on the scanner. That's not all. The most disappointing aspect of the S8 is Bixby. You must be wondering, is Bixby worth a dedicated button? Well, no. Out of the box, Bixby does not even have the voice features yet, which is surprising to say the least. There's the Google Now like Bixby page on the home screen that brings you cards on weather, alarms, reminders, news, etc. So how is it unique from the Google Now page? Well, I don't know. There's also Bixby Vision, which lets you point the camera to an object and it will identify the object for you. Is it actually useful? I'm not sure. Well, if you ask me, Bixby is a failed attempt from Samsung, at least for now. Moreover, the battery performance on the S8 is pretty average. The 3000 mAh battery on the S8 will only last you a day if you're a moderate user. For instance, in my day-to-day usage, where I always had the phone connected to mobile data or Wi-Fi, had always on display turned on all the time, the display resolution set to FHD+, the device lasted for around 18 to 20 hours on a regular basis, with a screen on time of around 15%. That is 3 hours. When I bumped up the screen resolution to QHD+, I did notice a slight dip in battery performance. With the battery lasting for around 15 hours, with 3 hours of screen time. On extensive usage, the battery does drain a lot faster. In a day where I took a lot of photos and videos, while also making calls, checking social media, browsing the web, the device lasted for around 9 to 10 hours, which is average to say the least. The S8 does charge very fast, so there's that. The S8 charges to 100 from 15% in just an hour and 15 minutes. In comparison, Pixel does it in 1 hour 42 minutes, while the iPhone 7 does it in 1 hour 20 minutes, when it just has a meager 1900 mAh battery. The battery performance on the S8 is definitely average, but yes, it charges really fast.
You must be thinking, there are a lot of bad things about the Galaxy S8. Well, trust me, the S8's pros outweigh its cons. The bezel-less design and the curved display are something that will definitely get you excited. Plus, it packs in great cameras, refined software, decent speakers, sleek performance and handy additional touches like the pressure-sensitive button and the AKG earphones. However, its shortcomings include the weird fingerprint scanner, the inconsistent face recognition feature, the poor to average battery life and well, useless Bixby. So should you buy the S8? Well, if you ask me, I would just get the S8 for that amazing display and design. What about you? Will you be getting the Galaxy S8 over the iPhone 7 or the Google Pixel? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked our very first video review and let me know if we should be doing more reviews. Subscribe to our channel for more amazing videos like this one and thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.